There's one prefab home that basically broke the internet. 500,000 people follow this company. Over 550 units are already out there in 6 states. And now, they just rolled out a new layout that changes the whole conversation. I'm talking about Boxabl. And today we're not just covering the classic model. We're going deep on what's new. Quick ask before we dive in. If you're into real numbers on housing and not just pretty renderings, hit subscribe. It genuinely helps this channel keep making videos like this one. Okay, let's set the baseline first, because you need to understand the original before you can appreciate what's new. The Casita is a 361 to 375 square foot studio. It ships completely folded flat on a single truck, and on site, it unfolds like origami into a full home in a matter of hours. 1 bedroom area, 1 bathroom, a full-size kitchen, not some mini fridge and a hot plate situation. Here's the part I actually respect. The design uses defined zones. Living and sleeping on one side, kitchen in the middle, bathroom tucked in for privacy. No wasted hallway. Every square foot has a job. Starting price sits around $49,500 for the base unit, with turnkey costs climbing depending on your site work. My honest opinion, for a single person or a couple, this layout works. It's genuinely clever, but it was never built for a family, and that's exactly the gap they just closed. Here's the actual news. Boxabl rolled out a multi-module 2-bedroom layout. Instead of one folding box, you're connecting multiple modules together. Bedroom, living, kitchen, and bath, all configured into one larger footprint. This is a completely different category of home. We're not talking studio for one anymore. We're talking an actual family layout, still built on that same folding, factory-built system. What I love about this new configuration, the bedrooms are separated by the common living space, instead of sitting right next to each other. That's a small design decision, but it's a big one for daily life. Nobody wants to hear their roommate's alarm through a shared wall. What I'd change? I'd want to see more storage built into the connection points between modules. When you're joining boxes together, that seam is prime real estate for built-in closets, and right now it feels underused. Now here's where it gets interesting. Boxabl also introduced something called Goldie, and this signals they're not staying in the tiny home lane anymore. Goldie represents a genuine expansion into multi-bedroom modular housing, not just an add-on to the Casita line. Why does this matter? Because it tells you where the whole company is heading. They didn't get famous by building 3-bedroom houses. They got famous folding a studio flat on a truck. Now they're using that same manufacturing platform to go after actual family homes. My take? This is the smart move. A single module studio is a great headline, but the real housing crisis is family-sized homes. If they can bring factory speed to a 3 or 4 bedroom layout at a reasonable price, that's the version of this company that actually changes the market. There's also a smaller companion product worth mentioning, a Towable Studio unit built to an RV-recognized standard with its own kitchenette and bathroom, listed around $29,999 with an introductory price even lower. This one's less primary residence and more ADU, guest house, backyard office. If you've got family visiting constantly, or you want a rentable unit in the backyard, this is the one to look at, not the 2-bedroom. Design mistake to avoid with any towable unit like this. Don't skip checking your local zoning before you order. Towable and RV standard units get treated very differently county to county. Some places love them. Some places will make you fight for a permit. Check first, order second. Quick behind-the-scenes note, because it actually affects you as a buyer. Boxabl is investing heavily in new automated manufacturing equipment at their factory. Millions of dollars going toward reducing labor costs and cutting the number of parts needed per unit. Why should you care about factory equipment? Because that investment is exactly what eventually brings prices down and wait times shorter. When a company is still figuring out manufacturing at scale, you're an early adopter, and early adopters wait longer and sometimes pay more for the privilege. As that automation matures, expect availability to open up and pricing to get more competitive. All right, real talk. This is still a relatively young manufacturing operation scaling fast. That means two things. 1, genuinely exciting innovation. 2, you're not walking into a showroom and driving one home next weekend. If you're chasing the original Casita or the new 2-bedroom layout, expect a waitlist. Expect availability limited to certain states. And expect the advertised base price to not be your final price once site work, delivery, and utility hookups get added in. None of that is a deal breaker. It just means you go in with realistic expectations instead of showroom excitement. So here's where I land. The original Casita earned its popularity honestly. It's clever, it's efficient, and the fold-out engineering is legitimately impressive. But the new multi-bedroom layout is the one to actually watch. That's the move that takes this company from cool tiny home to serious player in actual family housing. The zone-based layout logic. Even as they scale up to bigger footprints, they're keeping that same discipline. No wasted hallway, every square foot working. That's rare, and it's why I think this brand earned its reputation. Would you actually live in the 2-bedroom layout? Or are you strictly Team Casita? Tell me in the comments. I read every one.